The original Resident Evil, released in 1996 for the PlayStation 1, is easily considered one of the epitomes of the survival horror genre, as well as a founding father of the top-down style horror game. I had never really gotten my hands on the OG Resident Evil to play it when I was younger, but I do have some experience with the story, as my first Resident Evil game ever was Resident Evil Deadly Silence for the Nintendo DS. As a very intelligent youngster, I could never figure out where to go when I played it, so I left the original story way on the back burner for many years until high school, where I played the Xbox One remake. Spoiler alert, I still needed a guide. Fortunately, needing a guide will be a full circle kind of moment for me, because in today's video, we will be cracking open the official guide for Resident Evil and playing the game following it very strictly and to every detail. I just want to point out how much life this guide has in it. I'm usually not the type to show the guide on the screen, but I mean, it was literally written by someone at Capcom when the game was released, and you can feel the love that was poured into it. You can feel the legitimate excitedness and passion jump out of the words when talking about secrets or telling funny jokes about the story. Something else important to mention before we get started is that we will be playing on Seamless HD mod for this playthrough. This will enhance the visuals drastically for both of our viewing pleasures, but naturally, it will come with some quirks. For example, Jill just does not have ink ribbons for some reason, but we will be pointing out where each one would be regardless. Also, the character pictures are slightly different, but hey, it looks better for all of us. Anyways, that's enough intro for now, so be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy, and let's get on with Jill Valentine's scenario exactly as Daddy Capcom intended. Our first of the two scenarios we will be playing will follow the lead as Jill Valentine, a 23-year-old STARS member often described as the master of unlocking. Jill is considered to have the easy scenario of the two, and the guide gives us some character info before we get started. Jill will be able to hold up to 8 items at a time, which is 2 more than Chris, and has the ability to lockpick several useful locks throughout the game for goodies, as well as progression. Jill also has quite the musical prowess, and most importantly, is gifted a powerful weapon the guide calls the bazooka very early on. It's actually a grenade launcher, I'd say, but we will go with the guide's terms. The game starts off with Alpha Team hovering over the Spencer mansion, where several instances of grisly murders have been reported, resulting in people being, eaten. The helicopter has some complications, and we find ourselves on the ground, finding a lifeless, mangled corpse that the misfit cast stares down at. I can't express how funny it is to me that Wesker is just so blonde. Ravenous zombie dogs enter the scene and force the team to run to a nearby mansion for some cover, unknowingly entering a new horror all on its own. This is where the text for the guide begins as we start in the hall, realizing we have lost Chris somewhere along the way and hear some sort of loud noise from a connecting room. Jill and Barry will be heading to check it out while Albert Wesker stays back and guards the hall. We automatically enter the dining room and head forward to initiate a scene where Barry finds and inspects some blood on the dance floor. We head through the north door into the tea room and turning the corner to find the iconic scene of the first zombie sighting ever in Resident Evil. He's munching on one of our friends from Bravo team right now. We're told to forego fighting and run back to Barry. There, the monster will follow us, and Barry will take it out with a clean headshot from his Magnum. We decide this is something we must report to Captain Wesker, so we head back to the hall to find nothing. Wesker has disappeared, and Barry suggests we split up and search for him. But we can also stand completely still for some time for a neat close-up of Barry's old man mug. After seeing that rugged beard up close and personal, we simply need to walk behind the center staircase and around and back out to conduct our thorough search. Here we decide to split up from Barry and begin searching the first floor, but not before he gives us a lockpick and calls us by our famous title.
Jill, here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Our first order of business is to find a map, so we head through the east door into the gallery. I said business because that's what the guide said. From the east side of the room, we can see some rolled up parchment in the statue vase. So we push the stairs left until they're lined up with the statue, and then forward until we can't anymore. We then use action to climb the stairs and claim the 1F map. We're told to head to the inventory screen and examine it. The rooms we have already explored will be green, and the ones that we haven't will be marked red. Then the guide assures us it will be helping us turn every room green. We head back down the stairs and push the shelf in front of the red curtain to the left to reveal a hidden hallway. There's a faux dead zombie here that we're told to either shoot in the back or just walk around. If he latches onto us, we can mash action to stomp his head nice and proper. On the shelf is a proverbial ink ribbon we proverbially collect and head back to the dining room. We walk to the fireplace and take the goofy looking wooden emblem item. We return to the tea room and examine our old friend Kenneth's body before searching it twice to find a handgun magazine each time. From here, we head to the northeast door and unlock it with our lockpick to enter the bar. We run around the piano and push some bookshelves to the right to find music notes hiding behind them. Take the music notes and use them at the piano to prompt Jill to rip the most elegant Moonlight Sonata of the century, revealing and opening a hidden door. We're told not to save the game yet here and to follow the simple no-harm puzzle in front of us. We enter the passage to find the gold emblem that, once taken, closes the path up behind us. But we simply need to replace it with our wooden emblem to reopen the exit out of here. We return the gold emblem to the position over the fireplace, and the grandfather clock strikes before moving to the side and revealing a hole. We pick up the mansion key and examine it in our inventory to reveal it as the shield key. This will allow us to open any door with a shield carving on it. We're told now is a good time to save, so we head to the hall and pick up the proverbial ink ribbons and use a proverbial ink ribbon to save the game at the conveniently placed typewriter. We're told we can either go upstairs to the Hall 2F or explore the east side of the mansion, but the guide suggests we dash upstairs first to grab a kick-ass weapon. We enter the southeast door on the 2F hall to reach the terrace passage. There's some blood smeared all over the wall that surely isn't a bad sign or anything, omens and all that. Naturally, we will follow the trail through the north door out to the terrace. We stumble onto Barry, who fortunately isn't as trigger happy as most would be in this situation. He shows us the crow-pecked corpse of a fellow STARS and Bravo team member Forrest. Since we quote-unquote don't have a weapon, according to Barry, he hands over Forrest's bazooka to us, which is like sweet candy, according to the guide. We return to the first floor and head back into the gallery, where we enter the southeast door, automatically using a lockpick to open it. We're instructed to arm our new bazooka and walk down the passage until we see a brown, pushable shelf. Just past it, a vicious zombie dog known as Cerberus smashes through the window. But we're not supposed to know it's called a Cerberus yet. We take the dog out with a well-timed bazooka blast and push the aforementioned shelf out of the way to find nothing. Game designers are evil, I quote word for word from the guide. We continue down the L passage to find a second shelf and a second window where yet another Cerberus smashes through. We take aim with the bazooka and send it around its way as soon as we have a clear shot. We push the second shelf in this hallway forward to reveal a handgun magazine, giving us around a 45 total ammo count. We arm the Beretta pistol and enter the north door leading to the trap passage. We take in the extravagant view of our polygon protagonist and pick up the green herb in the corner when we're done. If we took damage from a Cerberus, we're told to use it now to top off. We continue down the hallway until we reach the next door aside from the locked east door, leading to the bathroom. There's nothing to be found in here apparently. The guy just thought we might get a giggle out of inspecting the toilet. We return to the trap passage and walk to the west end to find two doors. The right-hand door leads to a shotgun, but we can't get it yet. So we're told to enter the left door into the back passage. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, don't worry. The guide specifically mentions a secrets and alternate paths segment at the end, so we will be coming back for that sweet, sweet Jill sandwich later. In the back passage, we take out the two roaming zombies first and then enter the first door leading to the 1F right stairs. We blow the zombie in front of us to hell and take the green herb on the ground before entering the room understairs. This is our first encounter with a traditional save room, harboring a typewriter, item box, and phenomenal music. 48 items can fit in the box according to the guide, and any item placed will magically transfer to any other we find. We throw our combat knife and green herb in there to free up 2 slots and take out 2 handgun magazines that were already in it. We then combine those in our item screen to make one big stack and ensure we pick up the chemical bag laying on the floor in the corner. From here, we head back out to the back passage and into the south door, entering the gallery. This room holds a puzzle where we must press the switches on each painting in the correct order. The solution is as follows: newborn baby, infant, lively boy, young man, tired, middle-aged man, bold-looking old man, and give me the peace of death and I'll give you the joy of life. Or just some people mourning. My point is, this is the last painting. Ominous sounds chime over the room and the painting falls off, revealing the star crest, the first of 4 of its kind. We take it and return to the back passage and immediately through the north door into the roofed passage. We swap back to the bazooka and shoot the roaming Cerberus before going to the end of the passage. Here we place the star crest we just collected in one of the 4 notches near the door. At this point, we're told we've explored almost the entirety of the east first floor, so we need to head back to the west side. We return to the hall and save our game with a proverbial ink ribbon. We head up the center stairs to the 2F hall and go through the west door into the 2F dining room. There are 2 roaming zombies here that we are told to easily ventilate with the Beretta. We push the gray statue on the left side of the room north and ultimately through the railing to initiate a loud crash on the floor below. We head back down to the dining room to pick up the blue jewel item from the remnants of the statue. We head back upstairs to the 2F dining room once again with a slight apology from the guide for all the backtracking. We head through the north door to the 2F left stairs and dispatch the 2 zombies before trudging down to the 1F left stairs. We have 2 more zombies to defeat here and are told to blast them good before entering the door below the stairs into the mansion save room. We have our typical item box / typewriter combo here, as well as a proverbial ink ribbon on the bed. We proverbially place them in the item box and head back to the corridor and walk north. We find another zombie ripe for our ammo, and by the time we kill it, we should be getting desperately low on the stuff according to the guide. We head through the east door into the F passage where, you guessed it, another zombie stands in our way. After gunning him down, we head south all the way to the door to unlock it, opening a shortcut to the tea room for later. We have a second zombie to shoot along the way and are told if we run out of Beretta ammo to simply switch to the bazooka for the kill. We go through the west door into the employee room, taking the handgun magazine from the bed. We also try to take the book from the reading table, but a zombie smashes out of the closet behind us. We're told to quickly run behind the other side of the bed to create some distance and dispatch it safely from there. We return to the table to get a gander at the Keeper's diary, which harbors some interesting reading. We take the shotgun shells out of the closet just shy of a shotgun and return to the F passage. We enter the middle door leading into the tiger statue room and use the blue jewel on the tiger statue to reveal the wind crest. We grab it and return to the F passage and go through the east door into the greenhouse. There's a mean little hentai plant fella in the center that won't let us past, but fortunately, we're told to pour our conveniently found chemical, since I never expected it, to make it herbicide, down the drain of a nearby old pump. The Skyward Sword boss's toupee shrivels up and we can move past to collect the mansion key it was protecting. Further inspection will reveal this as the armor key. There is a large portion of green and red herbs on the floor here as well. We're told if we're up for the extra exercise, we can run them back and forth to the mansion save room and put them in the item box for future use, as long as we keep 2 item slots available. The guide also says explicitly that we can place unnecessary items in the box for the time being to reduce trips, so that's nice. I noticed watching this back here just how incredibly sluggish my movement was, but I promise we get into the flow state with Chris at the very least later on. We return to the 1F left stairs and open the locked door with the armor key, leading into the vacant room. We find a handgun magazine and a beautiful broken shotgun on the wall, then unlock the desk in the corner with our lockpick to obtain some more shotgun shells inside. We're about to feel the power of the shotgun, but we make a quick detour to the roofed passage first to place the recently found wind crest. We return to the trap passage and enter the trap room, that previously mentioned right-hand door we skipped. We head through the next door into the living room and take the shotgun from the wall, replacing it with the broken one we recently collected. If we don't do this, we will get locked in the intermediary room and turned into a Jill sandwich, or whatever Hoffman's idea of a good time is. As we all know, Barry will save Jill regardless, most of the time, and the guide explicitly mentions it as an alternate path. Don't worry, we'll see it. We re-enter the trap passage once again and go through the once locked east door into the boiler. 2 Cerberus march about, so we use our newly attained shotgun for 2 quick kills. Another large number of herbs is located here, and this time we're told that we will be hauling them all back to the item box in the room understairs. We also can proverbially use an ink ribbon to save our progress here. We return to the hall from here and unlock the northeast door in order to enter the dressing room. We take the handgun magazine from the dresser and turn the corner to find a zombie. We're told to feed it some close-range blasts with a shotgun before unlocking the desk behind it with the lockpick for some more shells. We head through the east door into the wardrobe, where a single zombie is crawling on the ground. We shoot it in the back, or avoid the poor guy, all the while taking the proverbial ink ribbon from in between the red curtains. We can't open the closet door in here until we beat the game and enter the horror a second time. We will be keeping an eye out for the special key section of this guide for more info on that later. We're told we've basically explored every room on the first floor, so we return to the hall and up to the 2F hall. We head through the northeast door into the C passage. We blast the 2 zombies in the corridor with the shoot gun and enter the middle and very blue door into the armor room. We must push the statues in the room over the vents on the floor before pressing the switch, or else the room will fill with poisonous gas and strangle us all. Once successful, the sun crest is revealed to us. With it in tote, we return to the C passage and go through the northwest door into the small library. We take and read the botany book on the table, finally granting us the knowledge and ability to mix all these herbs we've been finding lately. We head through the northeast door to the 2F stairs and kill the 2 zombies here before unlocking the south door, which leads back to the C passage. We head back to the stairs and enter the middle door, supposedly the last needing the armor key and discarding it when used. It's not the last door. We enter the deer room and go through the west door into the bedroom. There's a handgun magazine tucked in the corner by the right-hand bed just out of our sight, as well as a red herb on the opposite side. We also find a lighter on the shelf. We ensure we grab all the goodies and are given the option to run back to the roofed passage to place the sun crest if our inventory is getting tight. We return to the deer room and head straight through into the east door, the 2F study. We run into our old pal Barry once again here, and he passes along a researcher's will to us before we split off again. If you're more interested in these cutscenes, definitely check out the full unedited run over on Jeeps_VODs. Anyways, we press the switch found in the cracked bug display, causing the heavy aquarium in the room to drain. We can push it over now, just like James Sunderland and that clock that one time. After pushing it to the right, we also push some shelves to the right to reveal explosive rounds behind them. Lastly, there is a proverbial ink ribbon found inside the white lab coat by the door. We return to the 2F stairs and head through the south door into the lesson room entry. There isn't much going on here, but we can use the lighter at the fireplace to scorch the painting hanging above it. This awards us with the second floor map and a green herb that the guide doesn't mention in either scenario. We take a gander at our new map from the inventory screen before returning to the C passage once again. We head through the south door this time into the pillar passage, where we find fellow STARS member Richard, who looks like he just got off that plane with all the snakes. He painstakingly asks us for help, so we must oblige. We need to run all the way back to the mansion save room on the west side of the mansion and search the shelves for the serum. Richard is poisoned, by the way. We bring it back to him and, well, he rolls over on us anyways. He did happen to give us his radio and a handgun magazine if we check twice. We head through the north door into the attic entry. We stay prepared for a zombie around the corner thanks to the guide's warning and unlock the attic door with the shield key before discarding it. But we're not entering it yet. Instead, we enter the corridor where the sneaky zombie was and head through the door at the end to find a small dining room. We use a lighter on the candle centerpiece for some lighting before searching the cabinet in the corner for a handgun magazine. We also take a proverbial ink ribbon from the table. We push the shelves on the wall out of the way to enter a small hidden closet harboring acid rounds inside a cabinet. We're told now to return to a save room, drop the lighter in the item box, and save the game before returning to the attic entry. We enter the attic, and it turns out the room is guarded by a massive snake, most of us know as Yawn these days. We're given 2 options. Either blast the snake until he goes crawling back into his hole, or run around him and grab the moon crest he's guarding. The guide highly insinuates that the running method isn't as easy as it sounds and actually suggests we stand our ground and fight. It's more fun to blast a snake with the bazooka anyways, right? We specifically fire explosive rounds at the giant slithery fiend until it slithers its way out of town. We take the moon crest from the back corner of the room as well as collect some shells sitting on top of barrels. From here, we return to the roofed passage and place the moon crest. That is, if we didn't get poisoned. We actually have to prioritize returning to the mansion save room for more serum, then we can go place that moon crest. We head through the door into the storeroom. First up is to push the stepladder slightly to the left and then forward against the wall, and then slightly more left. And then just a little more in order to collect the crank from the top shelf. We expect it to reveal it to be the square crank. We head through the east door into the courtyard garden where 2 prowling Cerberus wait for us. We blast them with our new favorite boomstick and pick up all the luscious herbs laying around. We totally didn't miss the radio contact with Brad because I didn't know how to operate the radio and had to talk to him on the way out. Totally did not happen. We head to the west end of the garden and claim the garden map conveniently hanging on the wall. We then go around and through the north gate to the water gate area. No Richard Nixon here, but if we run along the path, we come across a square hole where we can use our square crank. This drains the wah-wah, revealing a pathway. We hop down the ladder and run across the path to climb back up the other side. We're told to move quickly in order to avoid the rain of snakes coming from that one plane I talked about earlier. I'm just realizing I'm gonna make the same joke in Chris's scenarios. I'm an open book. What can I say? What can I say? We use the elevator at the end to descend into the falls. 2 more Cerberus lie in wait, and 2 more Cerberus receive the shoot 'em dead treatment. We go through the west gate to the guardhouse gate and find yet another 2 Cerberus crying for our bullets. Or we're told we can run past these 2 if we want to. Regardless, we head through the north door into the guardhouse entry. We push the statue east and south over a hole in the floor. If we don't do this, we will get grabbed by a hentai tentacle monster. But we end up getting grabbed like that a lot anyways, because later on I realized that I totally fucked this up. We enter the first south door into the guardhouse save room where we store any herbs we have as well as the square crank. We're then instructed to take the explosive rounds in this room as well as the first aid spray, but only if we need it. Like maybe we would have passed up a good old pause. We head back out into the entry and into the north door labeled room 001. We blast the zombies located in here and take the red book from the bed. We then unlock the desk to claim the shells inside. We enter the 001 bathroom and unclog the very clogged up bathtub. We collect the control room key inside and head back to the entry and subsequently through the east and very red door. We're in the bar now, which would be my favorite place if it weren't for the inspiration for the frostbite spider from Skyrim crawling around the wall. We shoot them with the bazooka to take them out and watch as their hundreds of children burst from their corpses. The guy says we can simply walk all over them to defeat them or go with the easier option of simply exiting and re-entering the room to despawn them. We explore the room to find a handgun magazine and proverbial ink ribbon, as well as a pool table suspiciously resembling a clock. We head back to the entry and walk south past what is supposed to be a statue-covered hole and enter a door into the center passage. We push the statue at the north end of the room forward to reveal 3 green herbs. We're told to take them if we need them, or not, if we're in good shape here. We enter the middle door and into the beehive passage. The first order of business here is to run north and under the massive beehive and take the dormitory key it protects. We quickly inspect the key to reveal it as the 002 key and then run back to the door we entered in and exit just to re-enter. This will keep the bees off of our tail. We now examine the keypad next to the north door to reveal a puzzle. The guide tells us the goal is to light up all the lights, and that's about it. It lets us figure this out on our own. So I did what I do best, and basically just mashed buttons until it worked. Once done, we enter into the drug storehouse. This room has 4 empty bottles we're told explicitly not to take yet. There are, though, 2 messages scrawled on the wall we are told to read. We head back to the center passage and unlock the north door into room 002. We hear Barry's muffled voice as he assumedly talks to himself, or maybe even someone else. I don't know. The guy suggests it could be Elvis. We enter room 002 and have a brief chat with Barry, who insists he was conversing with himself and goes outside to get some fresh air. Awfully suspicious, sure, but wouldn't this kind of place make anyone go a little schizo? We take the dormitory mat from the wall and some shells from the locked desk. Next, we take the Plant 42 report from the bed and give it a once-over. Basically, the hentai monster is an overgrown zombie plant. We enter the 002 bathroom, blast the zombie, and take the handgun magazine from the sink. That's all for here, so we re-enter 002 proper and push around the shelves across from the bed to reveal a ladder. We're told to save the game with a proverbial ink ribbon before we climb down. Now we're in the flooded passage and there are 3 crates we must push to create a path across a gap. The first 2 are simple enough as we push them in a straight line, but the furthest needs to be pushed away from the goal line in order to give us some room to push it off the wall. Then it's just as simple as the other 2. We're actually told to scarf down one of the 2 green herbs on the other side if we need to, and then begin wading through the water. We enter the door into the water tank. We're told to run around the tank to find 2 adjacent, which the guide envisions as a big word, doors. The left door is the control room, which is where we want to go. A cutscene plays of a mysterious creature coming to get a chunk of Jill Valentine booty, so we're told to get in that control room before that happens. We move to the lever next to the blinking red light and use it to drain the water out of the area. We then push the red button next to the door, which will unlock that adjacent door we mentioned earlier. We head back outside and check out the flopping shark and his two little buddies. We're told to shoot them if we desire and then go through the northwest door leading to the arms storehouse. There are tons of goodies here, including 2 handgun magazines, 2 sets of shells, and dormitory key. After inspecting the key, we learn that it's the 003 key. We return to the water tank and head through the northeast door into the security room. We examine the large root, and the game tells us it's definitely a a plant root. We head back up the ladder to 002 from here and return to the beehive passage in order to use that 003 key. In room 003, we unlock the desk to snatch up some proverbial ink ribbons and then take and read the V-Jolt report. This gives us the knowledge to be able to make our own hentai defeating concoction. We use the red book on the bookshelf, which reveals a hidden door into the boss's room that we won't be going through quite yet. We dump off enough items at the save room to give us 4 empty item slots and head to the drug storehouse. We then pick up all 4 empty bottles and prepare for some Walter White level chemistry. First are the ingredients. We have water, which is number 1 and comes from the sink. UMB number 2, which is number 2 and comes from the shelves across from the sink. UMB number 4, which is number 4 and comes from the shelves on the far side of the room. We combine 1 with 2 to make 3, then fill a bottle with 4, mixing 3 and 4 to make 7. Then we fill a bottle with 2 and a bottle with 4, mixing the 2 to make 6. 6 and 7 now go together to create 13. We fill a bottle with 1 and a bottle with 2 to mix them and create another 3. Finally, we mix 13 and 3 to craft the mighty V-Jolt.
Yo, Mr. White, I can't even pronounce half this shit.
We head back to the save room and dump the empty bottles for our previous belongings and return to the basement via the ladder in 002. We enter the security room once again and use the V-Jolt on the roots, allowing us to watch them wither right before our very eyes. We return to room 003 and enter the 003 bathroom. We take out the zombie first and take the flame rounds for our bazooka. We specifically load them into our favorite carrier of brutality and enter the plant boss room. Since we applied the V-Jolt, it only takes about 3 rounds to defeat Plant 42, even though it tried to come back with a second life. We take the mansion key from the fireplace and inspect it to reveal the helmet key. We exit the boss room through the main doors and head back into the center passage where we find Captain Wesker. The first time we've seen him in a long time, huh? He suggests that we head back to the mansion and unlock more doors, which makes a lot of sense considering we just got a new mansion key. But great news, almost every room that had zombies in it before will be filled with the vicious and clawed creatures known as hunters. Hunters can decapitate us in one fell swoop if they catch us low in health, but fortunately, the guide has a good strategy. Simply avoid whenever possible. The first new room we can enter is the study, located very near the entrance to the roofed passage. We press the switch on the desk for some artificial light and take the magnum rounds that we don't have a magnum for. We also take the Doom Book 1, inspecting it to find an eagle medal located inside. Next, we head for the room under the 1F stairs. Barry seems to have very kindly left all kinds of treats for us. Acid rounds, a Foz, and some shells. The guide says the acid rounds are particularly nice since they will take out the vicious hunters in one blast. Everything has a weakness. We head for the left side of floor 2F, using the 1F right stairs to climb up before we start moving west. While staying alert for hunters, we head to the 2F left stairs and through the west door into the trophy room. We take and read the orders from the table to really lay the plot on thick. We also take the magnum rounds and shells from the table before gently pushing the stairs slightly left and into the wall, and then left some more. We hit the switch next to the door to kill the lights and reveal a shiny object in the mounted moose head. We climb the stairs and take the proverbial eyeball, which is actually a red jewel. We head back to the F passage to re-enter the long-forgotten tiger statue room. We place the red jewel to cause the statue to rotate and reveal the Colt Python Magnum. The guy describes it as a shotgun, but one we can use at a longer range. We climb back to floor 2F and enter the lesson room entry on the east side of the mansion. We're told that by this time, we might consider dumping the Beretta and magazines entirely, considering how ineffective it is against all the monsters we're facing. We're told to also save the game and stack a few herbs in our inventory before heading back to the lesson room entry and entering the lesson room itself. We discard the helmet key as we go in and diddle the piano like Diddy to attract the giant snake we creamed earlier. Wait, actually, Diddy wouldn't be interested, I don't think. We're told to use the bazooka against the snake and then the shotgun or magnum until it falls to our skills once again. This time dissolving into a pile of very purple goo that just for some reason makes me think of live action Cat in the Hat. We examine the hole the snake created, and Barry magically appears after the work is done once again. He offers to lower us down into the dark hole, and as we reach the bottom, Barry somehow drops the rope and has to run off to get another one. While he's fixing his mistake, we walk over to the tombstone to press a switch, revealing a ladder for the very near future. Barry makes it back and pulls us up again. He then gives us the pass number for the electronically locked door at the 2F left stairs. The guide says there are 2 ways to get there, but humbly suggests we follow its path and doesn't even tell us about the other option. We hop back down the hole and climb down the recently revealed ladder to enter Underground Passage 1. There are 2 zombies here and a box of shells in the north part of the passage. We head through the west door into the Underground Passage 2 and have the joy of seeing 2 zombies feasting on a third. If we want the herbs behind them, we're told we will have to kill them, but otherwise we just watch the show and move on. We enter the next door into the underground kitchen, where we find a zombie playing dead next to the kitchen elevator that we can pop in the back a couple of times to defeat. Then we open the west door, or at least get close to it, to initiate a cutscene where a staggering zombie enters the kitchen. One quick shotgun blast does the trick, and we enter the west door and head up the stairs to the 1F elevator. The elevator doesn't work at all, of course, but we can unlock the door to the tea room finally before heading back down the stairs to the underground kitchen. We use the elevator here to go to the front elevator on floor 2F. We shoot the 2 zombies immediately in front of us and take the green herb just north of the elevator. We head through the west door and enter the rough passage, where there are 2 zombies along with 2 green herbs and a single blue herb. We're told to take them if we want and return to the front elevator. Now we enter the south door into the shed to find 2 sets of explosive rounds and a battery that we can use in the courtyard. We head back to the front elevator and enter the north door into Library A. Take out the zombies in the room first. One of them is guarding a scrapbook that we can read, and after, we unlock a desk in the corner with our lockpick to find some magnum rounds. We push the shelves at the north end of the room and enter the hidden library. We walk over to the window and spot a heliport, a sign of hope. We then take the handgun magazine on the shelf and the proverbial ink ribbon on the table. We then return to Library A and enter the west door into the Library B. We push the switch on the wall to reveal a spotlight in the corner and must push the statue in the room into it to reveal a secret niche. Here, we find our first of 3 MO disc items. According to the guide, we have now explored the entirety of the mansion, so we return to any save room and stash the MO disc, take the square crank, and save the game. We head back to the falls in the courtyard and use the battery on the opposite side to power the elevator. We head up it and return to the water gate in order to use the square crank once again and close the gate. We head back down the same elevator we came up and walk to the ladder revealed behind the waterfall. We use it and enter the ladder passage. We head through the east door and into the branch passage where we meet Barry once again. We're told to agree to go with him and specifically make him go on ahead of us. We follow him to the north door into the darkness passage and watch as he takes down a hunter. We head to the power generator on the east side of the room and take the explosive rounds and FOS for our collection. We then go through the south door into the Enrico room, apparently famously named because we find fellow STARS member Enrico in here. According to him, there's a traitor among STARS and he's about to tell us who it is, just before he gets the stick sniper special. Barry begins to examine Enrico's corpse, and we begin our trudge out of the room. We notice a crank has been dropped on the ground and collect and inspect it to reveal it as the hex crank. We return to the ladder passage, avoiding the newly entered hunters along the way. We're also told that we can return to search Enrico's body for a handgun magazine, but the guide even says it's a waste of time. We walk to the hexagonal hole in the wall on the west side of the ladder passage and use the hex crank to open the passage to the door. We head through the door and find ourselves in the rock passage. We run down it until we are right next to a huge boulder. Then we run away from it, causing it to come crashing at us Indiana Jones style. We run back to the safety of the door and wait for it to roll past us, then walk to where it was to cause a hunter to enter the room. We take the hunter down and retrieve the flame rounds out of the nook in the wall. We run into the hole the boulder created and enter the spider boss room. We're told to use the bazooka or magnum here to quickly and easily dispose of the Aragog wannabe. After it's defeated, we search the corners of the room for a proverbial ink ribbon and a combat knife. We take the knife and use it to slice through the webs on the south door. We're told we can also blast through these, but it would be an irresponsible use of our ammo. We head through the south door into the straight passage and then through the east door into the underground save room. We save our game and juggle our inventory a bit as needed, dropping the square crank as suggested by the guide. We return to the straight passage and enter the west door into the crank passage. We run up to yet another boulder for a similar scene from earlier, just this time we will be ducking into the wall on our own. We head to the end of the passage and collect the underground map, which we will need for all of about 2 seconds, as well as a second MO disc. We're told pretty much instantly that we can toss the MO disc in the item box. We head to the hexagonal hole in the wall and use the hex crank not once, but twice to rotate the hole to the south wall. We head through the hole and enter the door into the item passage. We push the statue along the wall until it's about halfway from the entrance and the hexagonal hole input. Then we use the hex crank to push the statue off the wall, and then again to retract the wall we use to push it. We can now push the statue over the pressure plate in the room on the ground to reveal Doom Book 2, which, upon inspection, harbors a wolf metal item. We return to the save room and snag our eagle medal before returning to the crank passage and taking the elevator hidden in the corner up to the fountain. We place the collected medals on either side of the fountain to reveal a set of stairs leading to the under fountain area. This is the first room of the final area of the game, the laboratory. The elevator door is locked, so we climb down the ladder to the ladder room. There's an item box in here, but no typewriter. We stash the herbs we're being told we should have collected from the fountain just now and head through the south door into the stairs. There are 2 zombies here that we can shoot and the final MO disc on a desk in the corner. We climb down the stairs for now and enter the O passage on floor B3. This room has at least 4 zombies that are wearing their birthday suit and also don't always stay dead when we deal with them. We head through the west door at the bottom of the stairs into the double lock room. We enter the southeast door into the private room B and push the light switch next to the door. We then examine the portrait on the far wall to see some strange symbols. We ignore the handgun magazine inside the crate, but are told to definitely take the researcher's letter from the desk and read it. We push the shelves next to the desk to reveal a switch behind it and press it, giving the room a bluer vibe. Now we can look at the portrait again and see the symbols can be translated using information from the letter we just read, but the guide has already done the work for us. The password is mole. We return to the O passage and search the hole on the east wall to find a very well hidden proverbial ink ribbon. We then head through the north door into the small lab. We turn on the computer with very realistic 1996 boot up times and enter the login name John and password Ada. Once the dial-up loads, we select floor B2 and enter the password mole to unlock the northwest door. Then we can simply select B3 to automatically unlock the north door in the double lock room before powering down the computer. We make sure to pick up the slide from the floor before leaving and return to the double lock room and enter the north door into private room A. We're told to ensure our shotgun is loaded up as well. We will need to take out a whopping 4 greased up zombies here. We're told to stay at the door and simply take their heads off one by one. Once clear, we take the proverbial ink ribbon inside the box guarded by a naughty poster, then take and read the facts in the wall niche. We can use our first MO disc on a passcode machine in this room to obtain passcode 01, as well as some breathing room in that inventory of ours. We climb up to floor B2 and head through the northwest door into the conference room. We use the slides we found on the projector to learn quite a bit, mostly the names of the creatures we have been facing up to now, with the final monster being something we haven't seen yet, the Tyrant. We search the bookshelf in the corner to find a document labeled security system, unveiling the fact that Captain Wesker has been involved in this project all along. Like, maybe dye your hair, Albert, and you won't be as recognizable, dude. We open the panel in the corner and push the switch to reveal a hidden niche with the lab key inside. We collect it and return to floor B3. We use the lab key on the east door of the O passage and enter the door into the elevator entry. We take out the zombies first and foremost, then enter the east door to finally unveil a full-fledged lab save room. We take the flame rounds and proverbial ink ribbon from the shelves and save the game. We then head back outside and through the west door leading into the mortuary. We take the shells and prepare to solve one of the game's trickier puzzles. First, we push the step ladder up and right to get it out of our way. After we push the top crate left, down, and onto the lower vent. Then we push the bottom crate up and left onto the top vent. Lastly, we push the stepladder in position over the switch, which will now not fill the room with poisonous gas. Then we realized we looked at the whole thing kinda wrong and from the wrong angle before climbing up the stairs and entering into the second mortuary through the air shaft. We take the magnum rounds from the shelf and are told to use another MO desk here, even though we were never told to bring one with us. Fortunately, this room leads straight back to the elevator entry and subsequently to the lab save room where we can collect an MO disc and use it to gain passcode 02. We leave through the only door back into the elevator entry and are told we might want to give the game another save as we're entering the home stretch here. We walk south from the elevator entry to enter Maze A, which is loud. We're told we can run past the creatures or blast them with the bazooka. We opt to run and find the power panel in the southwest corner and turn it on. Then we head through the southeast door into Maze B. We find the passcode machine for the MO disc we weren't told to bring in the southeast corner and use it for the final passcode 03. We head through the southwest door into the power room, which is somehow much louder. Damn, it's loud as fuck in here. We use a terminal at the east end of the room to turn on the power for the elevator and can also locate a triggering system activator, but there's nothing we can do with that. Now, we head all the way back to the double lock room and go to the west door, entering all three collected passcodes simultaneously. We enter the door into the cell entry and walk up to the cell to finally find our pal Chris. We vow to come back and save him and return to the elevator entry. Barry conveniently shows up and we head to floor B4 together. We encounter the big man with the glasses, Wesker, in the Tyrant entry room, and he goes on a long villain monologue while Barry holds us at gunpoint. Barry comes to his senses and betrays Wesker, who was holding his family hostage, by the way, and we automatically enter the Tyrant room together. We gaze up at the monster and Barry cuts off its life support, which it does not appreciate and climbs out of its tank anyways, clawing Barry straight in the gut once out. We're told to arm our bazooka and get ready for a fight. In truth, Tyrant is a bit of a joke as it hardly takes any magnum rounds to defeat him here, but we're following a guide, so surely he won't. He went down in 4 shots. We run to Barry's side after the fight and examine him to see he is miraculously okay. We exit the Tyrant room and automatically return to floor B3 and are told to save the game if we have any proverbial ink ribbons left. We return to Chris's cell and rescue the very grateful lover, total just professional friend. The maze creatures are patrolling the O passage now, but we're told to forego fighting them unless we have plenty of ammo and patience left. With Chris saved, we head back to floor B1 where Barry is waiting for us. We take the elevator up to the heliport passage and run through it, receiving a quick radio message from Brad along the way. Basically, this was his final call for us, so we gotta hurry. We pick up the battery at the end of the passage and immediately throw it into the door slot. Something real big makes noise at the other end of the passage, and Chris and Barry insist on taking care of it, while we end up heading up. About time you did something, Christopher. It's about time. We take the flare out of the crate as soon as we get up and head to the center of the helipad to use it. Brad, the man, sees the flare and attempts to land, but is interrupted by a very pissed off bioweapon crashing through the floor. According to the guide, this is cliche number 318. The final boss never dies just once. We're told to blast the now speeding Tyrant with our bazooka until we run out of ammo, then to switch to the Magnum and keep firing. Brad eventually drops a rocket launcher onto the helipad that we must rush to and pick up. We aim at the Tyrant and one single shot defeats the beast before it can defeat us. It blows into some Conker's Bad Fur Day style chunks, honestly. We win the game, and with the good ending thanks to the fact that we saved both Christopher and Barry. It wouldn't be an RE ending without some happy smiles and a helicopter flying off into the distance after all, now would it? We get to see an end screen showing our final stats, and unfortunately, we were just shy of that sub 3 hour mark. The guide says, "We're the man," or woman. We receive a special key after the credits are complete that we're enticed to check out after saving the game and creating a new game plus game file. But we won't be doing that quite yet. And I would like to preface this next scenario by saying the script and all the jokes are going to be very similar because I did the scripts for the scenarios like a month apart. Maybe a little less, but it was like a month apart. And after reading this right now, I made a lot of the exact same jokes and didn't even realize it. Now we have to consider, we have a pre-beefy, pre-rock punching meathead to explore the mansion with still. Chris's scenario is considered the hard mode of the game, and the opening cutscene features some slight differences in things, like point of view and inventory management. But the starting position is the same. The Hall. What is very different is the starting crew for Jill and his overall more prevalent loneliness throughout the entire scenario. No help for old Chrissy Poo. We automatically walk into the dining room to investigate a gunshot. We're told there's nothing here but a pesky grandfather clock and to walk through the north door and into the tea room. We walk to the west side of the room and encounter the coveted first zombie for a second time. Once again, we're hardly armed according to the guide, this time for real, because all we have is a combat knife and hopes and dreams. So we head back to the hall to report the sighting, only to find everyone that we left has completely disappeared. We pick up Jill's Beretta and return to the tea room and defeat the zombie for making us have to wear our brown pants. We search a dead body we know as Kenneth from our friendly Stars team twice to find a handgun magazine each time. We return to the hall and head through the east door into the gallery. We walk to the east side of the room in order to see a parchment tucked into the pot of the tall statue. We push the stepladder to the left and line it up with the statue before pushing it into said statue and climbing the stairs to collect the first floor map. We're told to check it out at the inventory screen and give it a rundown. The green rooms will be rooms we have fully explored, and the red rooms will be, well, not that. We go back down the stepladder and push the shelves in front of the curtain to the left to reveal a secret passage. We find a not so inconspicuous zombie that we're told to shoot in the back to kill or walk around. If we get latched onto, we can mash action to stomp his head in, real Chris Redfield style. On the shelves is our first actual legitimate ink ribbon of the game that we can collect, considering the Chris scenario hasn't just deleted them in this HD mod. I should note here, if Chris seems like it's going a little fast, it's because I'm purposely moving quick in hopes of getting that sub 3 hour time on this scenario to avoid a whole third playthrough after. It's part of the extra screen. You'll see later. We return to the hall and take the second ink ribbon by the typewriter and forego saving. We climb up the stairs to the 2F hall and enter the southeast door into the terrace passage. We find a small key twinkling next to a vase and a whole lot of what the guide says could just be chocolate syrup on the walls. We walk through the north door and out to the terrace to stumble onto the crow-pecked corpse of Stars member Forrest. We examine his body and get attacked by 3 not-so-nice zombie crows. We grab the handgun magazine next to Forrest and run back out to the 2F hall before any major damage can be done. From the 2F hall, we head through the west door into the 2F dining room where 2 zombies lie in wait. The guide says they are easily ventilated with the Beretta, but we should only defeat the one closest to the statue to save ammo. We push the gray statue through the hole in the railing and return to the 1F dining room to collect the blue jewel that was hiding inside it. We head back to the 2F dining room and enter the north door to the 2F left stairs. We're told to defeat the entire trio of zombies here, leaving our ammo reserves very low before climbing down to the 1F left stairs. We're told to put the 2 zombies down for the count here or to simply avoid them and enter the door below the stairs into the mansion's save room. Entering has Chris immediately maced by a very scared Rebecca Chambers, the newest member of Stars. She quickly apologizes for the mishap. This save room harbors an item box and typewriter, as well as a mansion key on the bed. We pick it up and check it to reveal it to be the sword key. We're told to save the game with one of our ink ribbons here and store the others in the item box along with the combat knife, blue jewel, and small key. We're told to take out the 2 clips and combine them in our inventory as well. As we leave, Rebecca will ask us if she can come with us, to which the guide says to answer yes to make the rookie very happy. We return to the tea room and head through the northeast door into the bar. We run around the piano and push the shelves in the back corner of the room to the right to locate the music notes once again. We use them in front of the piano, but unfortunately, Chris can't read.
I never learned how to read!
Conveniently though, Rebecca chimes into the bar and tickles the ivories a bit. She's not quite there yet, so she asks us if we will agree to let her practice. We do and leave the bar. We return to the gallery and enter the southeast door into the L passage. We run through and are told to try not to scream as 2 zombie dogs smash through the windows. We're not fighting here per the guide, since the Cerberus are too strong for our puny Beretta. We head through the north door into the trap passage. We take the green herb in the corner and eat it since we're not at full strength.
I'll take a potato chip and eat it.
The east door is locked here, so we can walk down the hall and enter the bathroom. We unplug the bathtub full of muddy water Silent Hill style and take the small key inside. We return to the passage and walk to the west end to find 2 doors. As we know, the right hand door leads to a shotgun, but also a death trap, so we can't get it yet. We enter the left hand door into the back passage and defeat the 2 zombies before entering the first door. In 1F right stairs, we defeat the solo zombie and take the green herb before entering the door into the room under the stairs. This is another save room, and we use the typewriter with an ink ribbon first and foremost to save the game. We then store the small key and herb into the item box and grab the chemical sitting in the floor of the corner of the room. We place it in the item box as well and return to the back passage. We enter the south door into the gallery and are faced with the same puzzle as our counterpart Jill. We must press the switches on the painting in the order of newborn baby, infant, lively boy, young man, tired aged middleman, bold looking old man, and finally the give me the peace of death and I'll give you the joy of life. We're told if we do it wrong, the murderer of crows won't be pleased with us, but since we do it right, the final painting slides away and reveals the star crest. We take the crest and return to the back passage and enter the north door into the roofed passage. There's a patrolling Cerberus, but we're told to avoid it until we get a better weapon. We move to the end of the passage and place the star crest in one of the 4 indents next to the door. We head back to the dining room and take the emblem out of the hollow above the fireplace. We then return to the bar to find Rebecca ready and raring to go, now able to play the Moonlight Sonata on the music notes and reveal the secret door in the bar. We enter and take the gold emblem with the door closing behind us. We replace the gold emblem with the plain old wooden emblem and the exit/entrance reopens for us. We take the gold emblem to the dining room and return it above the fireplace to cause the clock tower in the room to strike and slide to the side. This reveals a hole with a mansion key in it that after inspecting is revealed to be the shield key. We return to the 2F left stairs from here and head down to 1F left stairs. We head north to find a third zombie that we must defeat and then enter the east door into the F passage. We're told by the guide we are likely almost out of ammo by now and to just run past the zombies on the way to the south door and enter it into the T room, unlocking a shortcut for later. We return to the F passage and enter the west door into the employee room, discarding the sword key as necessary. We take the handgun magazine from the bed and attempt to take the book from the reading table. A zombie gives us a jump scare and we're told to run to the other side of the bed to create some distance before defeating it. We return to the table to find the keeper's diary once again and give it a read. We take the shotgun shells from the closet of the probable diary keeper and return to the F passage. We shoot the zombie and enter the middle door into the tiger statue room where we place that blue jewel. We were never once told to pull back out, by the way, in order to reveal the wind crest. We take the crest and re-enter the F passage and enter the east door into the greenhouse. There's a hentai monster of sorts in here, and we must use the chemical. That's not in our inventory, by the way, but at least this time the guide mentions we can go back and get it if we don't have it. In the old pump in the corner of the room, we defeat the first of many more hentai-related beasts and collect the mansion key it was guarding, examining it to reveal it as the armor key. There are 4 green herbs and 2 red herbs in the southwest corner of this room, and we're told to trek each of them back to the mansion save room to place them in the item box for future use. It's not so bad, because we're told we can clear up some inventory space to get them all at once. We're told to return to 1F left stairs and bring a small key with us as we open the locked door leading into the vacant room. We take the handgun magazine and the broken shotgun in the shelves and unlock the desk with the small key to locate even more shells inside. Shoot gun time, baby! We return to the roofed passage and place the wind crest into its indent before entering the trap passage and subsequently the trap room. We enter the next door into the living room that is for some reason past a death trap. We take the shotgun from the wall and swiftly replace it with the broken shotgun in our inventory in order to return to the trap passage safely and as least sandwich-like as possible. We enter the east door of the trap passage into the boiler room. We're told to use the shotgun here against a Cerberus for what was supposed to be quick kills, and then take the whopping 6 green herbs back to the item box in the room under stairs. We're told to take our second small key out from the box here as well before exiting. We re-enter the L passage and gain some redemption on the 2 Cerberus in it. We push the north shelf to one side to reveal a handgun magazine underneath it and return to the hall. We enter the northeast door into the dressing room, taking the handgun magazine from the dresser and then walking around the corner to obliterate the zombies in here. We then unlock the desk with a small key and collect some more shotgun shells. We enter the east door into the wardrobe and encounter a lone crawler that we shoot in the back or simply avoid. We collect the actually present ink ribbon between the red curtains and take a serious note of the closet door in here for the extras section. According to the guide, we've now practically explored the entirety of the mansion's first floor and should return to the hall to save the game before climbing up to the 2F hall. We enter the northeast door into the C passage and defeat the 2 roaming zombies in it with shotgun blasts specifically. We then unlock the south door and middle, very blue, door with the armor key, but are told not to enter them yet. We enter the northwest door of the C passage to gain access to the small library. In here, we take the botany book off the table and give it a read to learn that we can mix herbs for different effects. But like any classic, it doesn't give us all the secrets and makes us experiment ourselves. We head through the northeast door to the 2F stairs and defeat the 2 zombies before unlocking the south door, which was locked from this side, leading to the C passage. We turn around and enter the middle door with the armor key, discarding it as soon as we can. In the deer room, we kill yet another zombie and enter the west door into the bedroom. We collect a box of shotgun shells around the corner of the right-hand bed, out of our sight, as well as a red herb on the floor. Old Spencer was rolling up before bed, I see. We take a lighter found on a shelf and return to the deer room to then enter the east door into the 2F study. We press a switch in the cracked bug display to drain the aquarium, allowing us to shove it to the right and subsequently push the shells to the right and take the shotgun shells behind them. We take the researcher's will on the desk and make sure to grab the ink ribbon hiding inside the white jacket next to the door. We're told to use the item box in the save room under the 2F left stairs if we're full in order to get everything. We're also highly suggested to dump our now, according to the guide, almost useless Beretta and a magazine. So, we do. We save the game in the save room and return to the C passage. We enter the middle, very blue, door into the armor room. In here, we must push all the statues over all the vents before pressing the switch in the middle. If we don't, the room will fill with gas. Succeeding will reveal the sun crest to us, so we take it and stash it in the item box for now. We return to the 2F right stairs and enter the south door, watching for a creeping zombie into the lesson room entry. We use the lighter on the fireplace in order to reveal the second floor map. We return to the C passage and enter the south door into the pillar passage. We find another corpse of a friend, Richard, who has faced the mother of all snake bites. We move on quick and search his body for a handgun magazine and enter the north door into the attic entry. We're told to be ready for a zombie just around the corner and unlock the attic door with the shield key, discarding it after. We're told not to enter the attic yet and instead enter the hall the zombie was blocking to find the door into the small dining room. We use the lighter on the candelabra for some natural light and search the cabinet in the corner for a handgun magazine. We push the shelves along the wall out of the way and enter the hidden closet to find shotgun shells inside the cabinet. We return to the mansion save room in order to place the lighter in the item box for the rest of its life and save the game. We return to the attic entry and enter the attic, where we fight the basilisk himself once again. Like Jill, we have the option to fight the beast or simply run around and grab the moon crest that it protects. The guide still suggests that fighting is actually easier, but for the sake of breaking up the monotony, I decided to make a run for the crest. Unfortunately, we're told to only grab the shotgun shells if we decided to drive off the snake, so we have to leave without them. I, of course, got poisoned, and since we did, Rebecca shows up as Chris is having a real poison crisis and must fetch the serum for us. The cool part is, we are now in control of the sweet Rebecca Chambers, and must equip her Beretta to make it back to the mansion save room. The guide says to use this route: C passage, 2F hall, 2F dining room, 2F left stairs, 1F left stairs, save room. Easy peasy, and just like that, we have the serum and bring it back to Chris to get him back on his feet. Back in control of Chris, we head to the room under the stairs to collect our sun crest from the item box, and once again, being told to leave the lighter we already put up. We return to the roof passage and place the final crest to unlock the north door into the storeroom. We search the barrel in the corner to find a small key. We push the step ladder slightly to the left and up in order to climb up to the top of the shelves and find the crank, which upon inspecting it is the square crank. We head through the east door into the courtyard garden and have a face down with 3 Cerberus. We're told to blast them all with the shotgun, which totally gave us no troubles at all, and then collect the array of herbs. We run 3 green, 2 blue, and 2 red herbs back to the box and head back to the west end of the courtyard to find the garden map attached to the wall. We head to the north gate to the water gate and run along the path to use the square crank in the square hole and raise the gate to drain the water, revealing a path. We jump down the ladder and run across the path in order to climb up again. We specifically run across this path to avoid the snakes falling from that one airplane.
I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane!
And take the elevator at the end to enter the falls. We have to shoot 3 more Cerberus down here at the bottom and then enter the west gate to the guardhouse gate. 3 more Cerberus are here, so we shoot them and enter the north door into the guardhouse entry. We're then told we should have taken the 2 blue and 2 green herbs with us after the fact. We push the statue east and south over a hole in the floor where a tentacle monster would try to choke us out if we didn't, but still does anyways. I think I'm just now realizing I may have totally messed this part up. We head through the first south door into the guardhouse save room. We store any herbs and the square crank before taking the handgun magazine for the Beretta we were never told to pick up again. We head back into the entry and through the north door into room 001. We blast the 2 zombies in the room proper and take the red book from the bed. We search the cup in the corner of the room for a small key and unlock the desk to find some shotgun shells inside. We enter the 001 bathroom and unplug the bathtub, Silent Hill style, to find a control room key inside. We head back to the save room and drop off the red book and then head through the east, very red, door into the bar. The zombie spiders are here, and we're told to hit them with a shotgun until they burst into little children. Then, we can either stomp them for the final kills, or exit and re-enter the room to despawn them. We explore the room on our own to find a handgun magazine and ink ribbon hiding about, along with a pool table suspiciously shaped like a clock. We return to the entry and walk south past the statue-covered hole, or should be, and enter the door into the center passage. We push the statue at the north end of the passage, north, and take the 3 green herbs, or just not if we're in good shape, according to the guide. We enter the middle door into the beehive passage and run to the north end just under the massive beehive. We take the dormitory key, check it to reveal it as the 002 key, and run back to the center passage before re-entering the room to keep the bees off of us. We examine the keypad next to the north door to reveal a simple puzzle. The guy simply says we have to light up all the buttons and should get the hang of it in no time. We enter the door into the drug storehouse where 4 empty bottles we won't be taking right now are, and also 2 messages scrawled on the wall. We read both messages even though we shouldn't understand them quite yet and head back to the center passage to unlock the door into room 002. We enter and take the dormitory map from the wall and find another locked desk, but no small key for us right now. We take and read the Plant 42 report and learn the counter to hentai before entering the 002 bathroom. We blast the zombie and take the handgun magazine inside the sink. We return to room 002 and push around the shelves from across the bed to reveal a ladder. We climb down it and enter the flooded passage. Here, we must push 3 crates along to create a bridge. The first 2 are simple, but for the third one, we must push it the opposite direction until we can get a grip on it and orient it the right way, and then push it down the hallway properly. We're told to eat the 2 green herbs in the passage if needed, and then wade through the water to enter the door leading to the water tank. We run right around the tank and find 2 adjacent, big word according to the guide, doors. We enter the left door, which is the control room, quickly before we turn into a greedy old catfish. We move to the lever next to the red blinking light and use it to drain the water before pushing the red button next to the door to hear a click, unlocking that adjacent door. We go back outside and spare the shark any extra embarrassment due to our time constraints and enter the arms storehouse. We take 2 handgun magazines, 2 sets of shotgun shells, and a dormitory key that a quick check reveals to be the 003 key. We return to the water tank and enter the northeast door into the security room. We press action to examine the source of the hentai's power, which the game for some reason thinks is a plant. We check the box next to the roots for a small key and head back in order to climb up the ladder back to 002. We're told specifically not to use that small key we just found on the desk in here. We return to the save room and collect the red book before returning to the beehive passage and entering the east door into room 003. We take and read the V-Jolt report to learn how to mix the perfect plant deterrent. We place the red book in the bookshelf and reveal a hidden door that leads to the Plant 42 boss room. We open the locked desk with our only small key to obtain an ink ribbon and are told energetically to save the game. We raid the 003 bathroom next to defeat a zombie and find a handgun magazine before going through the hidden door we just located. We don't even get a chance to shoot the hentai monster before it sinks its tentacles around our neck. Rebecca runs in to find us turning into a viral anime Pornhub video, so Chris tosses the V-Jolt report to her and we're in control of the STARS rookie once again. We go to the drugstore house and pick up all 4 of the aforementioned empty bottles. We have to break bad once again, and the code is simple. Water, which we get from the sink, is 1. UMB number 2, which we get from the shelves across from the sink, is 2. UMB number 4, which we get from the shelves on the far side of the room, is 4. We fill a bottle with 1 and a bottle with 2 and combine them to make 3. We then fill a bottle with 4 and mix 3 and 4 to make 7. We fill a bottle with 2 and fill a bottle with 4 to then mix them and make 6. We then mix 6 and 7 to make 13. We fill a bottle with 1 and 2 and combine them to make 3 again. We then mix 13 and 3 to finally craft a 99% pure product. We head down to the security room and use the newly crafted V-Jolt on the plant roots down below. As we leave the security room, Plant 42 tosses Chris to the ground, and the true fight is on. We're told to simply blast away at the plant and avoid the very annoying, mind you, plaster clumps falling from the roof. We're told not to get too close to the plant, or it will grab us and make an example out of us once again. Once we defeat the beast on our near final thread, we approach the fireplace to find another mansion key and examine it to reveal it as the helmet key. We exit the boss room through the big main doors and give Rebecca thanks for giving us yet another crucial save. She gives us the radio, and we return to the center passage. Wesker is here, and the sexual tension rises as he tells us we should head back to the mansion and continue to unlock the remaining doors. Now is where we're told about the mansion being filled with new monsters once again. The hunters are out and about, and if we're weak enough, they can take our head off with a single swipe. We're told to avoid them as much as possible, which I'm all about. The first room we can enter with our new key is the study, and it's right when we re-enter the mansion. We press the switch on the desk for some light and take the Magnum rounds before heading to the bookshelf and collecting the Doom book. We examine the Doom book to find the Eagle medal inside. We head for the left side of floor 2F now, using the 1F right stairs route before heading west. We enter the room under stairs to find Ol Al has left Chrissy Poo a plethora of goodies behind, including a handgun magazine, a first aid spray, and some shotgun shells. We go to the 2F left stairs and enter the west door into the trophy room. We take and read the orders from the table to thicken the plot up a little bit, and then take the Magnum rounds and shotgun shells from the side table. We push the stairs in the room slightly to the left and into the wall below the moose head, and then hit the light switch near the door. This turns out the lights and reveals something hidden in the moose head. So we climb the stairs to claim the eyeball, which turns out to be a red jewel. We return to the tiger statue room connected to the F passage while watching out for a newly spawned hunter that will jump out. We place the red jewel in the head to reveal and collect the Colt Python Magnum. According to the guide, this is basically a shotgun that can blow zombies' heads off, but from a further distance. We climb back up to floor 2F and go to the lesson room entry again. This time, clearly being told by the guide to go back and dump our Beretta and magazines if we haven't already, as according to it, they are useless now. We're also told to save the game and put a few herbs in our inventory. We enter the lesson room itself through the lesson room entry and discard the helmet key as we enter. We diddle the piano to attract Tom Riddle's pet once again, and now it's time to finish the fight. We're told to use a shotgun here or Magnum and fight the snake until it dissolves into that purple goo from the live action Cat in the Hat, just like with Jill.
Honey, it was ruined when she bought it. Yeah.
We examine the hole the snake smashed through and jump down the hole rope free. We walk over to the tombstone and push the switch to reveal a ladder. We climb down it with no option this time and enter underground passage 1. There are 2 zombies here that we are told to rout, and shotgun shells in the north part we can collect before entering the west door into underground passage 2. There's the lovely sight of 2 zombies munching on a third, but we're told if we don't need the herbs they protect, we should just let them eat in peace. We head through the next door into the underground kitchen and pick up the small key on the countertop. There's a zombie playing possum next to the kitchen elevator, so we're told to pop him in the back a couple of times to delete him. We then head to the west door and watch as a zombie opens the door in front of us and enters the room. We're told one quick pop with the shotgun will be enough, and then enter the west door and head up the stairway. The 1F elevator doesn't work, so we unlock the door to the tea room. Finally, for a shortcut we will use maybe once, or never, honestly. We head back to the kitchen and use the elevator to reach the front elevator. We take out the 2 zombies and take the green herb just north of the elevator. We then enter the west door after killing a zombie, protecting it to find the rough passage. There are 2 zombies in here, as well as 2 green herbs and a blue herb we're told to take if we want before returning to the front elevator. We now enter the south door into the shed and find 2 boxes of shotgun shells and a battery that we will need for the inoperable elevator in the courtyard. We head back to the front elevator and enter the north door into Library A. We defeat the 2 zombies, and one of them is guarding a scrap book for our reading. We unlock the desk in the corner and take the Magnum rounds inside. We push the shelves at the north end of the room in order to enter the hidden library and look out the window to find some hope. A heliport. We take the handgun magazine on the shelf as well as the ink ribbon on the table and return to Library A. We enter the west door into Library B and push the switch on the wall to reveal a spotlight in the corner that we must push the statue in the room under, revealing a hidden area with a MO disc for us to collect. The entire mansion is now explored according to the guide, so we return to any save room and stash our MO disc in the item box while taking the square crank along with us. We save the game and head to the courtyard to place the battery in the open slot and activate the elevator. We use it and return to Watergate to use the square crank once again and raise the water back up. We head back down the same elevator we came up in and find a ladder behind what was once a waterfall that we can go down to enter the ladder passage. We enter the east door into the branch passage and grab the flamethrower mounted to the wall and equip it. We enter the north door into the darkness passage and locate the power generator on the east side of the room to gain some shotgun shells and a first aid spray. We enter the south door into the Enrico room, called that because that's where we find Enrico, and watch as he attempts to kill Chris for being a traitor, but someone off screen keeps him quiet before it's too late. We're told we can examine Enrico's body for a handgun magazine, but it's not worth it since we don't even have the Beretta. We commit war crimes on the 2 hunters that entered the room behind us and find a crank on the ground near the door. Examining it reveals it as the Hex crank. We return to the ladder passage by avoiding the hunters along the way and replacing the flamethrower from where we got it to unlock the door. We walk to the hexagonal hole in the ladder passage and use the crank to open the door forward. We enter into the rock passage and take the next flamethrower off the wall. We run down the passage until we are just next to the giant Indiana Jones style boulder and then run away to initiate the chase scene. We hide in the niche where we came from until it passes, and as we head back up the path, a hunter enters. We're told to defeat him with the flamethrower and then take the magnum rounds in the niche that was behind the boulder. We then enter the hole the boulder created to find a spider boss room. Here, we're told to use either the flamethrower or magnum. Highly suggest the magnum here. Once we dispose of the giant spider properly, we search the corner of the room for a combat knife. We're told to return the flamethrower in its niche if we need inventory space. We use the knife to slice through the webs in the boss room, just like Jill. We're told we can blast at the webs as well, but it's not a very frugal use of our weaponry. We enter the south door into the straight passage and then through the east door into the underground save room. We collect an ink ribbon and a first aid spray before saving the game and juggling around our inventory as needed, which is like a godsend quote when doing these kinds of things. We're told we can drop the square crank and combat knife since we're done with them. We return to the rock passage and get the flamethrower as we will need it in the crank passage to function as a key forward like the previous rooms. Once again, we run up to the boulder and run away, this time running into a hole in the wall until the boulder passes. We head to the end of the passage and collect the underground map at damn near the dead end of the area and take the ammo disc from the niche in the wall. We head to the hexagonal hole in the wall and use the hex crank twice to properly place the contraption ahead of us. We enter the hole and into the door to find the item passage. We push the statue until it's halfway between the hexagonal hole and wall and use the hex crank to push the statue outward. Then use it again to retract the wall and push the statue over the pressure plate in the room, revealing the Doom Book 2 that we can examine for the wolf medal. We return to the save room to put away the hex crank and MO disc, as well as collect the eagle medal and return to the crank passage to take the elevator up into the fountain. We place the wolf and eagle medal in the indents on either sides of the fountain to reveal an elevator leading to the under fountain area, the first room of the final area. The elevator door is locked, and this time we can read the sign as to why before climbing down the ladder into the ladder room. This room has an item box, but no typewriter, so no saving yet. We put away the herbs we're just now being told that we wisely grabbed at the fountain. I had to go back and get them all. I was getting concerned about that timer around here. We enter the south door into the stairs and encounter 3 zombies and the third and final MO disc hidden on a corner desk in the northwest corner. We head down the stairs to the O passage on floor B3. This room, like last time, is populated with naked mole rat zombies that often return even if we defeat them. So we're told to be smart and only take them out if we absolutely have to. We head through the west door at the bottom of the stairs into the double lock room and then into the southeast door into private room B. We push the light switch next to the door and gander at the portrait with funny letters on the wall. We're told to ignore the handgun magazines inside the crate, but instead take the researcher's letter from the desk and read it. We push the shelves next to the desk and press the switch behind it, turning on a blue light. We can look at the portrait again to see the symbols have become letters, and in this case, we're supposed to use the letters and the wall to solve a puzzle. But the guide spells this one out for us. The password is mole. We return to the O passage and go through the north door into the small lab. We turn on the dial-up computer and enter the login name John with the password Ada. We select floor B2 once it loads and enter the password mole we gained earlier to unlock the northwest door in the double lock room. We simply select B3 to unlock the north door of the double lock room. We make sure to pick up the slides off the floor and head back to the double lock room and enter the north door. This is private room A, and we're told to hold tight at the door and defeat all 4 of the naked mole rat zombies slowly approaching us before taking and reading the facts from the niche in the wall. We then use our first MO disc on the passcode machine in the corner to obtain passcode 01. We climb up to floor B2 and enter the northwest door into the conference room. We use the slides on the projector to finally learn the names of the beast we have been encountering officially, and also of something called the Tyrant none of us have definitely ever heard of. We search the bookshelf in the corner to find a document labeled security system and read it to learn our pal Al from Al's Toy Barn was in on this thing the whole time, somehow. We open the panel in the corner and push the switch to reveal a niche with a lab key inside that we take. We return to the floor B3 and use the lab key on the east door of the O passage to enter the elevator entry. We defeat the 3 zombies and enter the east door into the coveted lab save room. We take the magnum rounds and the ink ribbon from the shelves and save the game humbly. We head back outside and through the west door into the mortuary to find some shotgun shells on a table and one of the game's trickier puzzles according to the guide. First things first, we push the step ladder right and into the corner out of the way. Then we push the top crate left, down, and left onto the lower vent. We then push the bottom crate up and left onto the top vent. Finally, we move the stepladder over the switch and successfully avoid filling the room with deadly gas. We crawl up the ladder and through the air shaft into the second mortuary. We take the magnum rounds from the shelf and use a MO disc on the passcode machine for the passcode 02. No, it did not tell me to get it again. Yes, I saw that coming this time. We leave through the door into the elevator entry and are told we should save the game again since we're so close to the finish line. We walk south from the elevator entry and enter the second loudest area in the game, Maze A. We're told we can run past the bug-like creatures or blast them, but if we run, we need to watch out for those claws as they swing from the ceiling. We find the power panel in the southwest corner and turn it on before entering the southeast door into Maze B. We find the passcode machine in the southeast corner and use the final MO disc to get the final passcode 03. We head through the southwest door into the loudest room known to man, known to all of gaming as the power room, and use the terminal on the east end to activate the elevator power. We can also find a triggering system activator, but once again, nothing we can do here. We head back to the double lock and enter the west door and use the 3 passcodes in order to get into the cell entry. We walk up to the cell and, you guessed it, we found Jill Valentine locked up tight and make a promise to get our secondary lover out of there. We return to the elevator entry and press the switch to the side of the elevator, causing our old friend Rebecca to appear. The rookie is now escorting the semi-less rookie. We encounter Wesker in the Tyrant Room entry, and he pulls out his pistol and straight up murders Rebecca Chambers right in front of us. The guide says, "Hey, she might be a horrible voice actor, but is that any reason to kill her?" I love how self-aware Capcom was. That makes us so great. Wesker drags us into the Tyrant Room with him, and once again, the main character is unbelievably snarky toward old Al's concept of great power. Wesker does some computer magic and brings the Tyrant to life, but the monster does not discriminate, it seems, as it turns the blondie into a skewer ready for roasting. We're told we must arm the shotgun and get ready to fight by shooting the Tyrant repeatedly and running away when it gets too close. Rinse, wash, and all that. We're told it takes about a dozen shots at least to defeat the monster. We have a metric shit ton of magnum ammo right now, by the way. Anyway, the Tyrant finally drops to the ground, and we run to the computer terminal next to Wesker's corpse and use it to unlock our exit. We run out into the Tyrant entry room to find Rebecca miraculously alive thanks to some bulletproof clothing. You know, back when the explanation for someone surviving didn't have to be a new virus. We return to floor B3 where Rebecca runs off to the power room to activate the triggering system. So now we know who did that, huh? We stop and save the game at the save room if we have any ink ribbons left and then immediately head to rescue Jill from her cell. The creepy crawlies are in the O passage now, but we're told to forego them if we can in order to save the ammo. Alright, doors open. Due to recent events, she is Chris's primary lover now, so the hug is frisky. With Jill free, we make our way to floor B1 and the elevator up, stopping at the item box to grab as many healing herbs as we can carry as long as we leave one slot in our inventory. We run through the passage and Brad sends his quick and final message to us along the way. At the end, we pick up the battery and place it in its door slot. Something big makes a noise, and Jill and Rebecca offer to manage it for us this time and send us on our way up to the heliport. We take the flare out of the crate next to the heliport door and head to the middle of the helipad to place it. Brad notices our final cry for help, and the beast known as Tyrant emerges from the depths of hell, aka the Spencer Mansion, once again. We're told to blast the Tyrant with the shotgun until we're out of ammo, and then switch to the Magnum. I don't know how to explain it, but it seriously felt like the Tyrant was on absolute crack this playthrough. After dealing enough damage, Brad will drop us a beautiful package containing a rocket launcher onto the middle of the helipad. We simply point and aim at the Tyrant for one last shot and blow it to chunks, Fur Day style, once and for all. This will net us the same good ending that we got with Jill as the lovers cuddle up in Brad's chopper and fly off into the sunset. The guide calls us awesome because we beat the toughest PlayStation game around and we actually succeeded in getting that sub 3-hour time block. We unlock the special key for Chris for completing the game in his scenario and expect to see something fly across the screen as a reward, but get something else entirely. We decide to enter the main game as Chris again to take a quick gander at some extras. I fully expected to enter the game with an infinite rocket launcher as a reward from earlier, but this mod has something else in mind. The game gifts us a Mini-Me, which is an infinite ammo machine gun. Pretty cool. Not as cool as a rocket, but a neat change of pace. We played through the game, defeating the first hentai monster and gaining the armor key. From there, we can head back to the hall and use it to gain access to the wardrobe. We can finally use that special key we have been holding out on to find a closet with additional outfits. Chris gets a stylish leather jacket that we can now play the game with if we like. That's really it for Chris, so now it's time to mention a few things as we head back to Jill. The guide also mentions several more endings, such as the bad ending where no one survives either campaign, or the medium kind of ending where one of your two companions throughout the game survive. Now as Jill, the first thing we take a gander at is the door we just entered into the mansion. If we interact with it, we can get a cool cutscene where a Cerberus attacks us. Oh yeah, Jill gets an infinite Uzi, by the way. These machine guns are cool, but lack the awesome power of the rocket launcher. As Jill, we can also get several different scenarios in the game. For example, if we try to take the shotgun without replacing it, we will almost get the Hoffman treatment before Barry saves us and calls us the legendary almost Jill sandwich.
Oh, Barry!
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right.
On the way back from here, we also got a scene in the hall where Barry gives Jill some bazooka rounds since we never met him on the balcony. We go through the same process as Chris and enter the wardrobe. Wait a minute, is that an ink ribbon? I guess they're just there now. We change into Jill's special outfit to find a nice bob haircut and jean skirt. Just such a cool way to reward a player, I think. I've always loved costumes in Resident Evil games. 4, 5, you name it. Always have. Well, there we have it. We finally defeated the original Resident Evil exactly as Capcom intended, if I'll bet somewhat loosely. Okay. I think this was a great experience, and if you did too, be sure to like and subscribe and comment down below your favorite OG corny ass moment. Follow me on Twitch if that's your thing, as that's where I always stream the full content of my videos live. And if you miss it, check out Jeeps_VODs. I have a channel called Gameplay Librarian also I plan on uploading to soon with a series called An Almost Complete Guide, starting off with Black Myth Wukong in the near future, as well as a Death by Nostalgia named series in the works as well. I also have a cooking channel these days, and the first video there will be the start of a series called Murderous Meals, where we cook the last meals of famed killers and chat about them sort of podcast style. Ted Bundy will be the front man of the first episode. Don't worry, this channel is still my main priority by far, and the next As Intended video will come from the year 1998. I'm also uploading a special video for January 2025, so be sure to be here for it. Okay, that's enough yapping for me, so thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it. Okay, bye.